Let's begin. Welcome to the block. I'm your host, Kyle Johnston. So for the late night addicts, the early morning coffee drinkers, the sports handicappers who like to put a wager down on the table, you can find my work on Twitter at KJ_the block. Find my work on my blog site, kylejohnstontheblock.wordpress.com. We had a 3-1-1 night last night, so we're going to look to continue the upward trend. Got a push. Got a push in the White Sox-Cubs game. I thought it would be a little bit more low scoring, especially in the, I guess maybe the breeze. We'll blame it on the breeze in Wrigley Field. And we couldn't cash the parlay with the Blue Jays and the San Francisco Giants. For the Colorado Rockies, plus 140 dog, you can cash that ticket. Cardinals had a wild game. They had the lead, then they blew it, then they came back. Toronto Blue Jays and the Padres got us over 9.5. Let's not live in the past. Let's move forward. I need to get right down to my sports picks here quick. Get it out. I'm going to get you another podcast out later. I'm going to talk a little CFL fantasy football, the DNC, a couple other things going around in the world. The Pope's talking. We're going to jump right into the Major League Baseball scene, right onto the diamond. Got an early game that I like, going off at 2:10. So it's already currently in progress as I do this. But the Milwaukee Brewers, they're at home with Zach Davies on the mound against the Arizona Diamondbacks with Ray. Ray takes the ball for the Diamondbacks. Minus 130 for the Brewers going into this game. Total on this is 7.5 runs. I like the Milwaukee Brewers. Zach Davies, he's been a beast ever since his first three outings weren't the worst. But you know what I mean? He's not doing what he's doing now. His first three outings, 13 earned runs, and his first 13 innings. You know, you can't get much worse than that, actually. But ever since then, he's been 7-1, 2.84 ERA, holding opponents to a 217 batting average. Not too bad for this young kid. There was some controversy about him getting sent down during the All-Star break. His agent wants, the big club to treat him like a fucking pro, but he's young. It's his first year. I see why the Brewers want to keep him in rhythm. I'd want to keep him in rhythm as well. Look, I'd tell the kid, look, it's your first year. You're a fucking rookie. You're going to go through the fucking rookie things. We like you. We want you. You got a spot in the rotation. But we want to keep your routine going. We don't want to get you out of routine. But I like Davies tonight. So I like the Brewers at minus 130. Let's get a little live update in this game. As it stands right now, well, unfortunately, it's 2-0 for the fucking Arizona Diamondbacks. Fuck! 2 runs in the first inning. Fuck! We're sitting at the bottom of the second right now. None out. No one on base. It's early. It's early. It's early. But in some late night action on the diamond, I've got a few plays, a couple totals, a parlay. So first up, we got the Baltimore Orioles in Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Twins. Gibson's on the mound for the Twins. Ubaldo Jimenez, gas can. Don't light a match around this guy. He's a gas can. He's on the mound for the Orioles. It's a pick'em right now. Total in this game is 9 runs. Now, the Baltimore Orioles, they've been under, the under's cashed, their last 16 games? 15 out of their last 16 games. Total's cashed in, I know, their last 10 or 12. So they've been on an under run. We're going to continue that trend until it breaks. We're going to take the under 9. I know it. People are saying, why the hell would you take the under with Ubaldo Jimenez and Gibson on the mound? But, the Twins' bats don't really scare me too much. The Orioles' bats with Trumbo and Jones and Machado, they're all starting to slow down a little bit. They had a hot first half. I don't think they're going to quite be as efficient in the second half. They're definitely going to need some help at the trade deadline, the Baltimore Orioles. Some pitching. They got Tillman. Like I was talking earlier, it's a weird year for Cy Young Awards. You got Tillman. Obviously, you got Chris Sale, but he's been all fucked up lately. You got the Estrada, Wright, the guy in Boston. Like, it's a weird year for fucking pitchers dominating top of the categories. With that being said, I like the under. We're going to continue that under trend. So they're saying Kyle Gibson's coming off perhaps his best outing of his career. He allowed 2 hits over 1 run in 8 innings, so hopefully he can fucking continue that. Hopefully he's found a nice little routine, a nice arm angle, nice pitching angle. Like, the arm slot, stuff like that. Hopefully his mechanics have all just kind of come together. Because it's scary, but I'm going to take the under in this. Tread lightly, but I like the under. And speaking of Chris Sale and the Chicago White Sox, it's the next game I like on the board. White Sox they're facing their crosstown rivals. They're in the south of Chicago to face the Chicago Cubs. Pretty sure that's how it works. Never been to Chicago, so I don't know. Never looked at a map of the stadiums. I know one's north, the South Siders, right? That's the Cubs, right? So they're in the south side of Chicago. Lackey's on the mound for the Cubs. Chris Sale is back for Chicago White Sox tonight. As it stands right now, the Cubs are minus 130 favorites. Total in this game is 6.5. Now, Chris Sale's making his second start in like 3 weeks. So we want to talk about routine and creatures of habits for pitchers. He's way out of fucking whack, So I'm sure he's going to be fucking amped up. He's going to be fucking juiced up. He hasn't pitched in a while. I think his teammates are going to have his back. I do think the White Sox are a live dog sitting at plus 110. And I'm getting itchy to click. Getting very itchy to click. My finger's getting itchy. But I like the over in this game. Because John Lackey, he's 3-6 in his career against the Cubs or something like that. He fucking sucks. 3-7 lifetime against the Sox. He's 0-4 in his last 6 starts. Against the White Sox. Sorry, he's 3-7 lifetime against the White Sox, John Lackey. 0-4 in his last 6 starts against the White Sox, John Lackey. So yeah, things haven't gone well for John Lackey against the Chicago White Sox lately. Now Chris Sale, he's pitched pretty well against the White Sox throughout his career, but the total's sitting at 6.5, and I gotta take the over 6.5 in this game, and I'm leaning towards the Chicago Cubs as a live dog at plus 110. Now I haven't clicked on that yet. I've clicked on the over. Now, my last play in the MLB tonight, it's a parlay. I like the Texas Rangers tonight. Cole Hamels is on the mound. They're taking on the Royals at home. Ventura is on the mound for the Royals. This kid, he's quite erratic. I don't want to quite give him gas can material yet because he's still trying to find his way. I'll be able to label that to him next year. But he's very erratic. And he hasn't pitched well against the Rangers. The Rangers have hit him very hard. The Rangers are sitting at minus 165. Total in this game is 9. So I like the Rangers at minus 165. I like Cole Hamels. He's pitched well. Been very consistent all season. The Royals, bats, they're not the same team as last year. They're hurt. Moustakas, Kane, they got multiple players spending lengthy time on the DL. Multiple players spending lengthy time on the DL. They're not the same team. But anyways, I'm going to parlay them up with the Miami Marlins. They're at home against the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, I've been pumping the St. Louis Cardinals tires. I still think they're going to do quite well. But Jose Fernandez is on the mound for the Marlins. Michael Wacha takes the ball for the Cardinals. The Marlins are minus 210 on the money line. Total in this game is 7. So I'm going to parlay the Marlins on the money line minus 210 with the Texas Rangers minus 165 on the money line. It's like plus 138, plus 134. Parlay, lay it down. Now the Marlins, they're starting to roll. They've won 11 of the last 16 games. Jose Fernandez, he's starting to become the old Jose Fernandez after his injury. He's 9-1 at home, 1.63 ERA. Opposing batters are just batting 192 against him at home. Now, Cardinals' Michael Wacha, he's pitched okay. It's 5-7, 4.37 ERA on the season. He's given up 22 hits in his last 3 starts, though. That's going to catch up to him. I think it's going to catch up to him tonight. So I like the Marlins. Texas Rangers parlay. Now, before I get to the CFL action tonight, we got the MLS All-Star Game. I'm a big football fan. Big football fan. Remember, I like to call it football. It ain't soccer. It ain't soccer to me, man. There's only a couple countries around this world that call it soccer. I call it football. No spandex, no helmets, no pads required. The NFL is its own monster. Before I get to the CFL, the MLS All-Star Game's kicking off. Arsenal versus the MLS All-Stars down in San Jose, I do believe. Now the MLS All-Star Games are looking for the 3rd straight win to beat Tottenham 2-1, to beat Bayern Munich the year before that. They're expecting a lot of goals tonight. Arsenal's only playing their 2nd preseason match of the season. They're going to be fucking rusty. They have some okay players. They have some quality players over here, but their main threat, Sanchez and Ozil, Giroud's of the world, they're not here. Mertesacker's injured. Koscielny's not there. They're starting a very young back line in the middle with Chambers. Callum Chambers is probably going to be starting at center back. I'd say Callum Chambers starts at center back. And they've been using Francis Conklin as kind of a replacement, I think he started there last game. If not, you got Christian Bielik, who I don't know very much about. Rod Holding just came over from Bolton. So he might get a run out tonight. Now, they do have a lot of experience on the flanks at the fullback positions. Bellerin, Debussy on the right, Gibbs, Monreal on the left. Their midfield's not too shabby at all. We're going to see Giordano Zalalem. Hopefully I said that right. Giordano Zalalem. He's an American midfielder. He's, 18, 19 years old for Arsenal. He's going to get a run out. He was on loan last year with the Rangers Football Club. Scottish. Granit Xhaka. Probably see him get a run out. He's one of their signings this year. Jack Wilshere's coming off injury in the fucking piss poor Euro 2016. But that being said, Joel Campbell's a threat up front. And so is Theo Walcott. Alex Iwobi is going to be fun to watch. He's the guy I want to watch is Alex Iwobi and Joel Campbell. I don't know why Joel Campbell's still hanging around. He should move on. He's not quite as suited for a big club in the Premier League, in my opinion. I think his talents are best used in La Liga, Serie A. A little bit slower, a little bit more tactical. I just don't think he can think quick enough for the pace of the Premier League. The MLS All-Star Games, I'm not quite sure who the starting 11 is. Hasn't been announced yet, or I haven't found it. Steve Birnbaum, he's expected to start in the back. Andre Blake, expected to start between the pipes. Laurent Kaiman, expected between the back. Who else? Kendall Watson, expected to start at the back line. In the midfield, you got Giovanni Dos Santos, you got Kaká, you got Darlington Nagbe, Andre Pirlo, I'm sure he'll start. I expect at least three of the four of those guys to start. Maybe Jermaine Jones. Up front, I'm sure Clint Dempsey and Didier Drogba and David Villa will probably be the three to start. Giovinco should come off the bench. So with all that being said, I'll break this game down a little bit. As it stands right now, the MLS All-Stars are plus 180 to win. Arsenal's sitting at plus 138 to win. It's plus 250 for a draw. I like the MLS All-Star game. The MLS All-Stars to win this game. This is going to be a good game. This is one of the more competitive All-Star games out there in professional sports. It's a great game. Hopefully they don't ruin it. Maybe tweak it a bit, but don't ruin it. But I like the MLS All-Star game to come out with a win. 3-2, 2-1, something like that. I keep going back and forth. The over-under in this game is crazy. It's sitting at 2.5 still. But it's sitting at minus 400 to the over, plus 300 to the under. Now, I think it's going to go over 2.5 goals. I've seen some predictions of 3-2, 3-1. I think it's going to be somewhere along that line. So I'm not going to play a total in this game. So I played the MLS All-Star game at plus 180 to win. Another intriguing one is the MLS All-Star game. Draw no bet. Minus 110. I'm leaning towards probably laying a sprinkling. Just going to sprinkle a little bit on that. Haven't done it yet. But I have clicked on a goal scorer, though. I think David Villa, sitting at plus 100 to score a goal anytime in the match, is it's a good wager. It's a good wager. He's going to start. He's going to be in the starting 11, so he's going to get a run out. MLS leading goal scorer. He scored in the MLS All-Star game last year against Tottenham. He gets up for these big games. He can still score. He'll be kind of coming in, cutting off the wing, playing off Didier Drogba more than likely. So I like the MLS All-Star games at plus 180. I like David Villa to score a goal anytime at plus 100. If you don't want to live dangerously, take a look at the draw no bet MLS All-Star game. MLS All-Stars at minus 110. Now, in the CFL, who has just been awful to me, just treading water in the CFL, just treading water. Hopefully we look to get an advantage in Week 6. So Week 6 kicks off with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in Edmonton to take on the Edmonton Eskimos. Battle of former quarterbacks with Riley versus Nichols. As it stands right now, the Eskimos are minus 10 on the point spread. Total of this game is 55.5. Now, before I get into breaking it down and all that, I like the over 55.5. I think we're going to see the quarterbacks trade touchdowns. We're going to see Nichols sling it. Winnipeg Jets fans want to see some points on the board. The Edmonton Eskimos defense sucks. They gave up 31 unanswered points, or 29 unanswered points. The Hamilton Tiger Cats lost that game last week. But their offense could put up points with Bowman. And what's that? Is it Carter? No, that's in Montreal. Walker. I think it's Walker. With Bowman and Walker as the wideout threats. Edmonton's got a good offense. So I like the over 55.5. Played that. And I'm also going to tease the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the over. I think the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are going to hang tough. I think Nichols has a chip on his shoulder going into this game. He wasn't the starter. He was a former Edmonton Eskimo in 2015, not too long ago. And the Eskimos only beat the Blue Bombers 20-16 in Winnipeg. So I think the Winnipeg can hang tough. I think we're going to see a little bit more points on the board than that game. Like I said, the Blue Bombers, Stampeders could fucking push the total at 51 last week. Then almost any game in the CFL can go over. I know Edmonton's like 9-1 straight up against Winnipeg in their last so-called games. And their last 10 games. But I like the Blue Bombers. There's just something about it. I'm going to go a little gut play here. Been on a little bit of a roll. Like I said, we can continue last night's roll. Starting to lose my voice a little bit. And to get back with a podcast here a little bit later on. I'm going to talk some CFL fantasy football. I got to get my lineup set up. Talk a little DNC. Like I said, the Pope's talking. We got the International Champions Cup. A little footy preseason going on. Premier League kicks off, August 15th? Something like that. So not too long. I'm going to have a Premier League preview. I'll break down each game, tell you what I think, give you some bets on them, some wagers, some plays, some futures. Tell you who's in, tell you who's out, what I think. But remember, you can find my work on Twitter at KJ_the block. Find my work on my blog site, KyleJohnstonTheBlock.wordpress.com. And remember, if you're not laying down the money, you ain't winning.